There's a sentence that quietly destroys more men than failure ever could. Why don't they respect me? Most never say it out loud, but they think it. After being ignored in meetings, after being interrupted, after giving everything to people who barely notice, after watching less capable men receive admiration they never seem to earn. The natural reaction is to work harder, speak louder, prove more, demand recognition. But that approach almost never works, because respect is unlike money, unlike attention, unlike popularity. It cannot be requested. It cannot be negotiated. It cannot be chased. The harder you pursue it, the faster it moves away. The silent strategist understands something most people discover far too late. Respect is a byproduct, not a goal. Imagine walking through an ancient forest. Deep among the trees stands an enormous oak. Its trunk is thick. Its roots stretch deep beneath the earth. Birds build nests within its branches. Travelers rest beneath its shade. The tree never asks anyone to admire it. It simply becomes impossible to ignore. Strength often works exactly like that. It is not announced. It is noticed. Years ago, a wealthy merchant visited an old king whose kingdom had remained peaceful for decades. The merchant asked, "How do you make everyone respect your authority?" The king smiled. "I don't." Confused, the merchant waited. The king continued, "I spend my time becoming worthy of respect." That answer changed the merchant forever, because it revealed something most people overlook. Authority is earned privately, long before it is recognized publicly. Most men focus on appearance. Powerful men focus on substance. Imagine two swords hanging on a wall. One is covered with gold, beautiful, decorated, perfectly polished. The other looks simple, plain, almost ordinary. Then both are tested in battle. The golden sword shatters. The simple blade survives. Character works the same way. Life eventually tests everyone. Not your image, not your words, your foundation. That is why emotionally disciplined men spend more time building habits than protecting reputations. Because habits become identity, and identity becomes presence. The silent strategist never enters a room asking, "How do I impress everyone here?" He asks, "How do I remain aligned with the man I promised myself I would become?" That difference changes everything. One mindset seeks approval. The other creates self-respect. And self-respect has a strange effect. People notice it before you ever mention it. Have you ever met someone who barely spoke, yet somehow commanded attention? It wasn't magic. It wasn't luck. It wasn't appearance alone. It was congruence. Everything about them matched. Their posture, their words, their decisions, their boundaries, their calmness. Nothing felt forced. Nothing felt performative. They weren't trying to appear confident. They had simply stopped pretending. That is one of the rarest qualities in modern life. Most people constantly adjust themselves depending on who enters the room. The silent strategist remains the same man, whether speaking to a billionaire or a waiter, whether praised or criticized, whether surrounded by applause or standing completely alone. Consistency creates credibility, and credibility quietly becomes respect. Inside the Dark Mind Protocol, we teach that respect begins long before another person offers it. It begins the moment your private standards become stronger than your public image. If you're ready to build that kind of unshakable presence, the complete framework is waiting for you in the first pinned comment. Because the men who receive the deepest respect are rarely the ones chasing it. They're the ones too busy becoming the kind of man respect naturally follows. The first habit is surprisingly quiet. Powerful men keep promises, especially the ones they make to themselves. Most people think discipline is about waking up early, going to the gym, working harder than everyone else. Those things matter, but they are only the visible surface. Real discipline begins with something much deeper. It begins the moment your actions stop depending on your emotions. Imagine a stone bridge that has stood for hundreds of years. Storm after storm has struck it. Floods have pushed against it. Seasons have changed around it. Yet every morning, people cross the bridge without hesitation. Why? Not because the bridge is beautiful, because it has become predictable, reliable, Strength earns trust through consistency, not intensity. Many men live the opposite way. One day they are highly motivated. The next day they disappear. One week they chase ambitious goals. The following week they abandon them. Their emotions become the architect of their lives. The silent strategist refuses to hand that role to emotion. He lets principles make the decisions. Years ago, a young apprentice watched an old clockmaker repair a magnificent mechanical clock. For hours, the master adjusted tiny gears that no customer would ever see. The apprentice finally asked, "Why spend so much time on hidden parts?" The old man smiled. "Because the visible hands only work if the invisible gears are perfect." Character is built the same way. No one applauds the mornings you choose discipline instead of comfort. No one celebrates the promises you quietly keep. No audience witnesses the moments when you choose integrity over convenience. But those invisible decisions create the visible man the world eventually respects. The second habit is equally powerful. Powerful men become comfortable saying no. Not rudely, not arrogantly, clearly. Imagine a magnificent castle surrounded by open gates. Anyone can walk in. Anyone can take what they want. Anyone can leave destruction behind. Soon, the castle belongs to everyone, which means it truly belongs to no one. Boundaries are the gates of your life. Without them, your time is no longer yours. Your peace is no longer yours. Your attention is no longer yours. The silent strategist understands that every yes carries a hidden cost. Every unnecessary commitment steals time from something more meaningful. Every attempt to please everyone weakens your ability to serve your purpose. That is why emotionally mature men do not apologize for protecting their priorities. Not because they lack kindness, because they understand something many people never learn. Kindness without boundaries eventually becomes resentment. Think about the sun. It gives warmth every single day, but it never changes its course to satisfy individual requests. Its consistency is exactly what makes life possible. Your values should function the same way. Reliable, clear, steady. The third habit surprises many people. Powerful men become excellent listeners. Not because they are shy, because information is valuable. Most conversations reveal far more than people intend. Someone's fears appear in the stories they repeat. Their priorities appear in the excuses they make. Their insecurities appear in the things they constantly criticize. The silent strategist listens without rushing to interrupt, without desperately waiting for his turn to speak, without trying to prove he is the smartest person in the room. Imagine entering a library containing thousands of rare books. Would you spend your entire visit talking? Or would you quietly absorb what surrounds you? Every conversation is its own library. Most people leave with empty hands because they were too busy speaking. The emotionally disciplined man leaves carrying knowledge. Inside the Dark Mind Protocol, we teach that respect grows from small daily disciplines, not dramatic moments. Keeping your word, protecting your boundaries, listening more than you speak. These habits seem ordinary until you realize how uncommon they have become. If you're ready to build the kind of habits that quietly transform your presence, the complete system is waiting for you in the first pinned comment. Because respect is never created by one impressive moment. It is built through hundreds of ordinary decisions, made with extraordinary consistency. The fourth habit is one that most people completely misunderstand. Powerful men do not rush, not because they are slow, because they are intentional. Modern life teaches us that speed is strength. Answer immediately, react immediately, decide immediately, speak immediately. But urgency and importance are not the same thing. The silent strategist understands that every rushed decision carries the fingerprints of emotion. Imagine watching an experienced sculptor standing before a massive block of marble. He doesn't strike it wildly. He studies it, walks around it, observes every angle. Only then does he make the first cut. To someone impatient, it looks like hesitation. To the master, it is precision. Life rewards precision far more than speed. Many men destroy opportunities because they cannot tolerate silence. They negotiate against themselves. They explain too much. They reveal their intentions too early. They fill every pause with unnecessary words. The emotionally disciplined man allows silence to do part of the work. Silence creates space, and space reveals truth. Have you noticed what happens when you stop talking first? People often continue speaking. They reveal more, clarify their position, sometimes even expose their own contradictions. Not because you manipulated them, because most people feel uncomfortable with silence. The silent strategist has learned to become comfortable there. Years ago, a young prince asked his advisor, "How can I become impossible to deceive?" The old advisor handed him 2 cups of tea. One was boiling. The other had been left to cool. He pointed to the boiling cup. "Can you see your reflection?" The prince shook his head. The advisor then pointed to the calm tea. "Now look again." The prince saw his face perfectly. The advisor smiled. A restless mind cannot see reality clearly. That lesson stayed with the prince for the rest of his life. And it applies just as powerfully today. The calmer your mind becomes, the more accurately you read people. The 5th habit is emotional consistency. Most people become confident only when life is easy, when they receive praise, when everything goes according to plan. But confidence built on favorable circumstances disappears the moment circumstances change. Imagine a lighthouse standing on a rocky coastline. Its purpose is not to shine when the sea is calm. Its purpose is to remain visible during the storm. Character works exactly the same way. Anyone can appear confident when life is comfortable. The real test begins when plans fail, when criticism arrives, when disappointment knocks at your door. The silent strategist understands that difficult moments are not interruptions to growth. They are growth. Pressure does not create character. It reveals it. That is why emotionally disciplined men stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this situation teaching me?" That single question transforms obstacles into instruction. Every setback becomes information. Every failure becomes refinement. Every challenge becomes another opportunity to strengthen the habits that no one else can see. Inside the Dark Mind Protocol, we often repeat one principle. Your future is rarely determined by your biggest decision. It is shaped by your smallest repeated habits. The habits you practice when nobody is watching eventually become the presence everyone notices. If you're ready to build that kind of quiet authority, the complete framework is waiting for you in the first pinned comment. Because respect is not earned through dramatic performances. It is earned through disciplined patterns, repeated long after motivation disappears. The 6th habit is perhaps the rarest of all. Powerful men are not controlled by the need to be understood. Think about that for a moment. How much energy have you spent trying to explain yourself? Trying to convince people your intentions were good? Trying to justify your decisions? Trying to make everyone see your point of view? For many men, this becomes a lifelong habit. Not because they are weak, because they confuse explanation with connection. The silent strategist knows the difference. Imagine an eagle flying high above a mountain range. It does not descend every time a crow begins making noise. If it did, it would spend its entire life fighting battles beneath its altitude. Instead, it continues flying toward its destination. The crows remain below. Many arguments work exactly the same way. Not every accusation deserves a defense. Not every misunderstanding deserves an explanation. Sometimes people misunderstand you because they lack information. Sometimes because they have already decided what they want to believe. The outcome is very different. Learning to recognize that difference saves enormous amounts of emotional energy. Years ago, a respected philosopher was publicly insulted by one of his rivals. His students expected an angry response. Instead, the philosopher smiled and continued walking. Later they asked, "Master, why didn't you answer him?" He replied, "If someone hands you a gift and you refuse to accept it, who does the gift belong to? The person offering it." The students nodded. "So why," he continued, "would I accept an insult that was never mine to carry?" That lesson has survived for centuries because it reveals a profound truth. You do not have to carry everything people attempt to place on your shoulders. Opinions, expectations, criticism, labels. Sometimes the strongest response is refusing to pick them up. The seventh and final habit is purpose. Purpose is the habit that gives every other habit direction. Imagine an archer preparing to release an arrow. Without a target, perfect technique means nothing. The arrow may be beautiful, powerful, fast, but will still fly aimlessly. Many men have discipline without direction, confidence without purpose, knowledge without action. They become busy, but never fulfilled. The silent strategist chooses his destination before increasing his speed, because speed only amplifies direction. If you're heading toward the wrong destination, moving faster simply gets you lost more quickly. Purpose changes how you walk, how you speak, how you spend your mornings, how you choose your relationships, how you respond to distractions. When your mission becomes clear, many temptations lose their appeal. Many arguments lose their importance. Many opinions lose their influence. That is why men with genuine purpose often appear calm. Their attention has already been invested somewhere more valuable. Inside the Dark Mind Protocol, everything begins with this foundation. Not tricks, not manipulation, not pretending to be powerful. Real power comes from becoming a man whose habits naturally create respect. A man who keeps his word, protects his boundaries, listens more than he speaks, moves with intention, remains emotionally steady, does not seek constant validation, lives according to a purpose larger than his ego. If you're ready to build those habits into your identity, you'll find the complete Dark Mind Protocol waiting for you in the first pinned comment. Remember this: respect cannot be demanded. It cannot be borrowed. It cannot be fake for long, but it can be earned quietly, patiently, one decision at a time, one habit at a time, one disciplined day after another. Eventually, people stop asking whether you're confident. They simply feel your presence, not because you became louder, but because your actions became stronger than your words. That is the path of the silent strategist, the man who never chases respect, because he has become the kind of man respect naturally follows.